So looking at the US economy as it stands today, where are the strengths, weaknesses, and what really needs to be done?
It's kind of a two-track economy. On the one hand, you have a strong dollar and you have weak oil, which is really hitting certain sectors of the economy. People legitimately look to those things and worry about the future course of the economy. On the other hand, the service sector of the economy, including job creation, has been very strong. And so actually consumer spending and consumer confidence is very positive. That some people would say, aha, the weak parts in the U.S. economy are a canary in the coal mine, and they're a sign that this is going to spread to the broader economy. Actually, I have a very different view, which is that the winners are winning because the losers are losing. That actually cheaper commodity prices, the very things that are causing weaknesses in some sectors of the economy are part of a global rebalancing process that actually favors the service and consumer side of the U.S. economy. I don't see the linkage where we're going to have contagion and we're going to go into recession. I think that this is an economy of winners and losers, and you need to think about that as an investor.
And how much would you say the war on terror is impacting the country's coffers and sentiment in the markets?
First of all, I think that terrorism is something that unfortunately we've come to learn to live with. And it doesn't derail the economy in the way that maybe one might expect. Even the 9/11 attacks did not derail the U.S. economy. The other interesting thing, though, to pay attention to is the impact of unrest in the Middle East on oil prices. Normally and historically, any kind of conflagration in the Middle East, like the Syrian civil war, would normally lead to a spike in oil prices. And in fact, this time around, that's not at all what's happening. In fact, oil is at 11-year low. I think the reason why this is happening is because a lot of the participants in the Syrian civil war are actually on the sidelines. There's become a proxy war for a lot of countries, and a lot of those countries are oil suppliers, and they're actually engaging in a price war.
Well, staying with oil prices, and of course shale has been bolstering the American economy. However, this surely can't really be sustainable, or can it?
The story of 2015 was the shakeout in the oil, on the supply side of oil, that never took place. So everybody is trying, whether it's the Saudis, whether it's the American shale producers or others, they're all trying to stay in the market. And the glut of global savings actually enables them to stay in the market a lot longer than they otherwise could have. But at some point, the shakeout has to take place. Now, the good thing for American shale producers is that shale is pretty scalable. So you can scale it down, you can scale it up. It's not a heavy fixed investment or compared to other kinds of oil investment. The area where I think this will really have a big hit and it will have an enduring hit is on long-term, very high fixed cost investment like offshore or even things like Arctic drilling, where people are going to be very reluctant to invest in that kind of sizable long-term investment if they don't know what the oil price is going to look like. And I think that that's where you're going to start to see the supply of oil be pared back.
And the other issue with shale, of course, is now that the rates have risen in the US, it's an industry that's heavily borrowed. So do you think this is going to really impact it because perhaps they won't be able to pay back the debts?
Well, I think we're already starting to see that with what's happened in the high yield market in the US. There's an awareness that there's a big risk factor there. And yes, there may well be a shakeout, and there are going to be oil suppliers in the United States who cannot survive, and there are going to be people who have lent to them that are going to take a big hit. I think it's important, though, to put this in the context of the broader U.S. economy. In the 1980s, there was a big hit, a big recession in the oil patch. It had a huge impact locally on the Texas economy. It helped contribute to the S&L crisis, a regional financial crisis in the United States, but it did not derail the overall U.S. economy. The U.S. economy in the 1980s continued to grow. So it's possible that we will see that impact, but at the same time, I don't think that we should take from that it's necessarily going to translate into a recession.